Hello and welcome to episode 3. I'm the Sephardi Chef. Since the last episode, I've been inundated with lots of questions through the YouTube channel, Facebook, people sending me tweets. So people have been getting my phone numbers, asking me questions via text message. There's only so many hours in the day, so I really would like to apologise for not getting back to a lot of people. But what you did probably all see was the Facebook Live we did last week. It was a Q&A session for an hour, dedicating my time to get as many answers as I could through to you. Had amazing feedback from everyone. Got a lot of inspiration myself from some of the comments that were made. I know there were quite a few people that said very similar things, such as they'd like to see me make something sweet. I've not really done that yet. And also with it being Pesach, I'd like to see me make a traditional sort of Pesach dish. So I thought about this, and it was only right to do a traditional Sephardi Matzo Brei. It's my favourite recipe throughout the year, and I'm sure you guys will love it. So yeah, this is how we do it. So this recipe that we're doing today serves 1 to 2 people. I guess it just depends on how hungry you are. We use 4 pieces of matzah and 2 eggs. Now, if you're wanting to make a smaller one, you could do 2 matzahs and 1 egg. Or likewise, if you want to make a massive one, you could use 3 eggs and 6 pieces of matzah. So it's 1 egg to 2 pieces of matzah. I'm using today Rakuzen's matzah. It's my favourite one. It's the perfect one for this recipe. I've never tried it with a different brand of matzah, but yeah, I would definitely get hold of the Rakuzen's one. And yeah, so what I've done is I've put 4 pieces of matzah in here, and I've broken it up into pieces like this. Takes about 40 to 60 seconds to break it up, and you want pieces sort of like that size. You don't want them too big, likewise you don't want them too small. So again, that gives you sort of an idea of the sort of size of the matzah that you need. So once that's done, we will then crack 2 eggs. Crack 2 eggs into a Pyrex jug. We beat the eggs. Once you beat the egg for sort of 40 seconds or so, sprinkle some salt into the Pyrex jug, and then just give it a little stir like that. Then what we're going to do next is we're going to put some hot water into this mixing bowl and mix the crumbled matzah together. So it's really important to get the right amount of hot water in this bowl. You don't want to put too much because it'll make it too soggy, but you don't want to do it too little. So it's really important to get the right amount. So I'm just sprinkling some hot water out of my cooker tap. The matzah that's had the water poured in, so you can see how much water I've put in. This is the bit that a lot of people get confused about. A lot of people pour the egg into the matzah, but you definitely do not do that. You need to put the matzah into the egg. So this is the egg and the matzah. So what we're going to do is pour the matzah into the egg, not the other way around. It's really important to get that right. So you just do it like that. And then what you want to do is mix it together. Don't rush this. It's really important you take the right amount of time that it needs. So make sure it's really mixed nicely, because that is the difference between making a very average Matzo Brei to making the perfect Sephardi one. So really dig deep from the bottom and give it a good stir. So what we're going to do is put the frying pan, I've got one this size, it's quite a large one, medium to large is fine, and I'm going to pour some oil into the pan. Just so you can see, there's a lot of oil that I put in the pan. It's really important to get the right amount of oil. And then what we're going to do is put it on number 5 to preheat the frying pan. So this is a very important part, because if you put the Matzo Brei in when it's not that hot, the pan, it won't look how it should look. So if you just come closer, what I do is I test it with just a small piece of matzo, and you can see the bubbles coming to the top, and that's when you know to put it in. So put it in nice and slowly. And what you want to do is you want to make it nice and thick. You don't want to spread it around the pan, you want to put it on top. So we can do it a little bit quicker. It's really important to keep it together. Like I say, this is a really important part. And just pile it on top as if it was a mountain. And we can bring it in like this and help shape it. And then you press down on it just to keep the shape, and then what we do is we put the remaining Matzo Brei into it, put it on the top, in the middle, and from there we can reshape it. So press on it, don't press on it too hard, but it does need a little bit of firmness. And as you can see here, if you come in closely, you can see I'm shaping the edges with that, just to keep it in shape. A lot of people say, I've tried to make a Matzo Brei, but it just falls apart. This is why. And the oil must be hot when you put it. I know there's a lot of oil in there, but it needs it. You just do that, like that, just to shape it and edge out the ends. And this is how we're going to make the perfect Matzo Brei. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll leave it on for 5 minutes. So this is the very tricky bit. It's not easy to do, but first of all, if you just have a look under here, this is how you sort of get an idea of when it should be turned over. You want to make it a little bit on the darker side, because that will make it a bit more well cooked, and it'll make it a little bit easier to flip it over. So one side should be a bit more well cooked than the other. So just shaping it in, doing that, like I say, not too hard. It's been on for about 5 to 6 minutes on a medium heat of number 5. And you get a feel of whether it's ready to turn over by just doing that. I'll just give it another sort of 15-20 seconds. And that way, hopefully, it will stay as one shape. If not, we can always cut it to 2 and make it 2 individual portions. You can do that anyway, whichever works best for you. So let's give this a go. There we go. And then we'll reshape it like that. So as you can see, the top bit is more well done, and then we're just going to leave it on for a few minutes. So as we said, the first part was about 5 minutes and we flipped it. This has now been on for about 3.5 to 4 minutes, and it's now ready to come out. If you have a look here, it's a bit on the lighter side. It's just slightly lighter than the top, which is what we want. It's in a very nice shape and it's ready to come out now. So this is another key part. So what I've done here is there's 3 pieces of kitchen towel. Lay this up as a double, and then what we're going to do is we're going to just bring that delicately on there, on the double piece. And this is a vital part because this is draining all the oil. You don't want to be tasting oil when you're doing. You do that nice and gently. You don't push on it too much, but at the same time, you need to see all the oil and the grease coming through. And you fold it almost like a present like this, and you just keep pressing it. Don't rush this because it really does affect the taste. I've rushed it before in the past when I was a beginner, and now I've absolutely mastered it. And what we do is still been nice and drained. I did that for about 30 seconds. And we'll get a plate here and we'll just shuffle it on like that. And as you can see, if you're feeling hungry, that's for 1 person. Otherwise you can just share it. And again, it's a nice amount. So I'm going to sprinkle some sugar like this. I always use a spoon. If you use your fingers, it sticks to it. And once it's on the Matzo Brei, it's very difficult to move it around. So just sprinkle it along like this. Put as much or as little as you want. And then you can put some around the edges just for a bit of decoration. That's all that bit's for. Tiny bit more on this side. And as you can see, it's difficult once it's in, it's difficult to move it around. So I think that's, and put a little bit more there. And I think that's enough sugar. So what we can do is, if you want to make it a little bit healthier, you can obviously use a little bit less sugar and use some fruit. So I'm going to put some strawberries on the outside. Like this. And then on the inside, which really makes it, just adds to the flavour, the strawberry, the blueberries. The strawberries and blueberries, always put the blueberries on the inside, like that. And that you've got a very healthy Sephardi Matzo Brei dish. Now I'm just going to cut into it. I'm going to show you how it should look in terms of thickness. So you can see it's almost like a sponge it feels when you're cutting into it. Really nice texture there. Lovely, perfect in fact. I'm going to cut a nice small triangle for me. And you can see, nice and thick. It's almost like spongy, like I say. That's what you want. Make sure it's got a bit of sugar in. I'm just going to give it a taste now. Sensational. It's unbelievable. Now I'm going to try a piece with the strawberry and the blueberry. Unbelievable combination. So that's it, folks. That's the Matzo Brei healthy version, blueberries and strawberries, Sephardi Matzo Brei dish. Hope you enjoy it.